Hey, Hailstalkers, we are excited for day 3 of IRE. Now, day 1 and 2 were a lot of fun, and I think that we had some great conversations here. So if you have not seen HailTrace yet, come by and see the HailTrace booth. We are so excited for day 3. But you can tell I'm actually not at the HailTrace booth right now. I wanted to walk around this massive area, and I wanted to show off some of our sponsors that are going to be at the Raising Hail Tour with us. So you can see behind me is Letter Labs. Letter Labs is a direct mail company who at IRE has beer pong or cup pong, which is a lot of fun. You know, they're having a lot of fun over here. So if you have not checked out Letter Labs, make sure you do that as well at IRE, or come see them at the Raising Hail Tour with HailTrace. That starts in February. So we're gearing up for that. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to walk over to the HailTrace booth now because I'm going to show it off just one more time. And then later in the show, we're going to show off some other booths that are at the IRE. You can see behind me that we have a ton of booths here. It's just an absolutely massive place. So it's going to take me a minute to walk over there. But here's our HailTrace booth. We have returned to our booth that you guys have seen quite a lot of. We've been playing trivia at this booth. We've been asking those fun trivia questions all week long. I know that you guys have seen a lot of those on the noon forecast. Obviously, we have the race car as well, the race car, because we want you to be the fastest to the storm. We want your response time to be very fast. This thing goes 130 miles an hour. Talk about fast. And you can actually race the car on the simulator right here. We've got the simulator up and running, and you can actually see how fast you can race that car that's behind me. Now, we've got a lot of other fun things going on here today, but for now, I'm going to pass it back to Michaela in the studio for your noon forecast, because one of the questions that I have been getting over and over and over at IRE is, how does my flight look? Can I get out and get back home after the conference is over because of that weather? So I'm going to pass it to Michaela. Michaela, tell people, we've got a big system coming in. Break it down for us. We'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you so much, Taylor. And as you just heard again, we have a huge winter system that we are talking about. I'm meteorologist Michaela Smith. Let's jump right into talking about this winter storm that's going to arrive tomorrow and then last all the way through the weekend. So major winter storm incoming, over 2,500 miles, bracing for winter impacts. Dangerous cold on top of that. We're talking about the coldest air of the season. And in some states, we're talking about the coldest air that they've seen in years, about to arrive again this weekend and into early next week. And the possibility of round 2 next week and into next weekend. We have one major winter storm that we're talking about now, but some of our models, some patterns are indicating that there may be some chances for more snow going into next week. First off, I want to show you this 48-hour storm report map just to show you we have not had any severe storms, just some snow in some areas up to the north. We had a line of thunderstorms yesterday, none of them that were ever severe warned, maybe a little bit of frequent lightning in some of these storms, mainly just rain across the deep south in areas like Tennessee, Kentucky. Now, as you head into this morning, starting off your Thursday, you can still see where there's a few showers to the south, closer to Atlanta. You may want that umbrella for the next couple of hours or so. As you head towards this evening, you really won't be thinking about that as much anymore. Here's a look at what's going on across the country. Again, there's some showers from Alabama through Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, some snow up to the north. We can see some of that snowfall actually right now in New York, New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, getting a little bit closer to Boston. There's some of that rainfall right now. Again, not any severe weather, just rain that we kind of need to see. January is usually a pretty dry month. Across the plains, nothing currently. That is going to change within 24 hours. We'll be talking about winter impacts. And then off along the west coast, you're seeing some showers maybe coming in closer to Seattle and Portland today, and some showers down in California. As for temperatures, it's chilly to the north. You're sitting at 5 degrees currently in Minneapolis, 25 in Fort Wayne, 37 in Kansas City, 50s in Oklahoma City, 49, actually cooler right now in Dallas and Oklahoma City. That doesn't happen very often. And you are below freezing currently in Denver. Now, there is a lot going on this map behind me, and that's because, again, we are bracing for this major winter storm. So we're going to break it down by all the different kind of things that we are seeing. Oh, we're going to go back to that map really fast. There we go. Okay, breaking this down by all the different impacts that you are seeing. This is an extreme cold warning. That's going to be areas to the north where we're expecting temperatures to fall below 0, but those wind chill values are going to be between -50 and possibly -60 degrees minimum temperature. That is dangerous, life-threatening cold. So that's going to be that extreme cold warning. Then you have this cold advisory as well, this cold weather watch that we're kind of keeping an eye on. You also have this winter storm watch that extends from New Mexico all the way through the plains, up into the deep south, into the northeast. This is over 2,500 miles, again, that we're talking about winter storm impacts. And then you can see all these areas now highlighted in pink: Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, into Illinois, Kentucky, Tennessee. All of these areas are now under a winter storm warning, meaning, hey, the conditions are there. You are about to get impacted by a winter storm really within the next 24 to 48 hours. Now is the time you need to prepare. So a lot of activities going on across the U.S. We also have winter weather advisories just to the east, or the west, excuse me, in the mountains in Denver. A lot of major winter impacts that are coming. Where we're not seeing big winter impacts is at IRE in Vegas, where Taylor is. Around 3 p.m. this afternoon, you're looking at temperatures right around 60 degrees, so very nice and mild day out there for today. This evening, I know the conference is wrapping up today, but if anyone's staying in Vegas one more night or you're catching a flight a little bit later on, 59 degrees right around 6 o'clock. By 9, you're in those lower 50s, so a pretty slow cool down for the rest of today. You can see a few areas around right around 50 degrees. Down in California, you're in the 50s as well. And then heading into tomorrow morning, starting your Friday, if you're staying maybe one extra day in Vegas, now you're starting off your day in the 40s in the morning. This is right around 6 a.m. on Friday morning, so a little bit cooler to start the day. I do want to send things back out to meteorologist Taylor Cox ago. Again, this is the final day of IRE, and she's been walking around kind of showing us different things, some of our sponsors for the Raising Hail Tour, and she has a lot more fun things to show you right now. So Taylor, how are things looking for this final day of IRE? This is the second one.
Hey, Michaela. Yes. Okay, so IRE is so large. I have been walking for about 6 minutes now from the HailTrace booth. I'm going to go over to our Atlas booth, the Atlas booth over here, and I'm still not there yet. And I'm not gonna lie, a little out of breath at the moment, because this is such a massive event. But I do want to go over to the Atlas booth, and I want to show you guys how cool this thing is. Now, remember, they put up these booths and then take them down all within a matter of hours oftentimes. And check this thing out. Atlas's theme this year is Atlas Ranch. Check this thing out. There's 2 stories. There's meeting rooms inside. This is such a cool booth, and you can see that behind me, and it's really just showcasing some of the cool things that Atlas has to offer. Now, if you want to see more from Atlas, go to the Raising Hail Tour, raising-hail-tour.com, and you can hear from Atlas at the Raising Hail Tour that starts in February. We have 6 different cities. We've got Edmond, Denton, Texas, Denver, Colorado, Chicago, Minneapolis, and Omaha. Atlas will be at all of those events, and we're so excited to hear them talk once again. Their talks every single year are a hit. So if you didn't get to come to IRE and see what Atlas has to offer, you can always catch them at the Raising Hail Tour. Now, another thing that we've been doing here at IRE is trivia. And yes, we have played trivia every single day on the noon show, and I want you guys to get back to the forecast here in just a minute. But first, before we get back to the forecast, Michaela, I know you know this answer. Everyone at home, put it in the comments. What is the most popular time of day for hail in Texas? Choose an hour. What is the most popular hour for hail in Texas? All right, I'll send it back. Oh, we've got a guess over here.
9:30 a.m.
9:30 a.m.? That's a bold guess. You want to? Okay, you feel good about that?
I feel good.
You want to stick with that?
As I'm eating, sorry, Chick-fil-A.
I like it. Good sponsorship. Okay, 9:30 a.m. Michaela, you tell them the answer. I know that you know the answer to this, so we'll send it back to you in the studio. You guys, raising-hail-tour.com. Come and see all of our cool sponsors and the hail forecast that starts in February.
HailTrace.
HailTrace.
Thank you again, Taylor. And yes, if you were trying to guess the answer for what is the time of day that you see the most hail in Texas, you want to put any more questions in the comments? Do we have any more final guesses from anybody? I'll wait and see you. Give it a couple more seconds. John, is anybody trying to get those final guesses in the comments? Someone said 11 a.m. Okay, 11 a.m. That's a good guess. Any more comments, questions? Trying to guess that final time. Let's see, TikTok, do you guys have any guesses? I don't see any over there. Okay, the time of day that Texas gets the most hail reported is 7 p.m. 7 p.m. Central Time. We talked about Oklahoma yesterday. Someone said 5 p.m. Oh, you were so close. You were so close. Yesterday we talked about Oklahoma. That was 6 o'clock. 6 p.m. is Oklahoma's more typical time to see hail. And then it's 7, just an hour later down in Texas. So again, thank you, Taylor. A lot of fun things happening out at IRE. Now I want to show you the severe kind of storm forecast over the next few days. We do have a chance for a few thunderstorms tomorrow. So today, keeping those risks very low. Someone said, would you advise I fly back from Alabama to Kansas City tomorrow instead of Saturday? Yes, 100%. If you're going from Alabama to, you said Kansas City, Missouri, Saturday, it's going to be really hard and you're probably going to have delayed flights or at least huge, might get even canceled. Huge cancellations. If you can squeeze it in tomorrow, especially earlier on in the day, you're going to have a much better chance of actually getting home or just getting wherever you need to be. All right, let's talk about storms. No severe thunderstorms are expected for today at least. Now tomorrow, everyone's been talking about this winter storm, and yes, the winter storm does arrive. But to the south in Texas, we actually have an area highlighted here in red. This is our general thunderstorm that we can expect thunderstorms to the south, and then to the north, thunder snow. There's going to be enough maybe convective potential that where we see that freezing line crossover, you're going to be actively seeing sleet or snow, but you're going to hear those rumbles of thunder. Thunder, sleet, thunder, snow, really cool phenomenon that happens. And we're talking about that both Friday and Saturday. Here's your look at Saturday, the severe weather outlook. Again, the winter storm is ongoing at this point, bringing major impacts. We've already been seeing a lot of sleet, snow, ice at this point. This is Saturday. But you can still see from Austin to Houston, Alexandria, just outside of Jackson and New Orleans included in this area for storms on Saturday. And the further south you go, that's more where you're just expecting thunderstorms. Not really expecting a ton of severe weather, but maybe 1 or 2 storms could be strong to marginally severe. But as you go more towards the north, you're closer to maybe right along this border here of Louisiana, Arkansas, a little bit further north in Mississippi, you get thunder sleet. So you'll be seeing the sleet. That's not hail that's falling, it's sleet that's falling. But again, you're hearing those rumbles of thunder. By the time you get to Sunday, no severe storms are expected, and that will also be the trend Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, further into next week. Senile Texas Aggies on today said, in Texarkana, I'm waiting for the cold. The cold is coming. You don't have to wait much longer. Tomorrow, it's knocking on your doorstep. Texarkana, you will see that cold here very shortly. Someone said, thank you for keeping us informed. Isaac. Hi, Isaac. Thanks for watching. I think Isaac's down in Houston right now, so always a good time when you get to see friends watching the stream. All right, let's talk about the significant hail model for tomorrow. Again, especially, that's the area that we're watching for potential storms. And we said the severe threat is going to be pretty limited, maybe 1 or 2 storms possible. And I want to show you that's where we're starting to see a little bit of yellow. So over the last few days, we have not seen this on our significant hail model. Every time I've showed you this, we don't get any of these bright colors. It's always just been that gray and that white that's really small hail. So you can see that there's actually a chance going into Friday where we see some of these storms that, again, we're talking about the possibility of seeing maybe 1 or 2 larger hailstones. So I did make a hail forecast for you for tomorrow on Friday. Areas highlighted here in yellow, that's going to include Midland, Texas, Abilene, San Angelo, Del Rio, San Antonio. That size potential, maybe a quarter. Talking about maybe, again, up to a quarter. And that impact, the risk level, very low. Not expecting a ton of activity out of here, any widespread hail reports, but we could see, again, maybe 1 or 2 storms that get just strong enough. Maybe we get a quarter out of there, but just right around an inch of hail. So that's why we have that hail forecast for tomorrow. So maximum hail size, I already spoiled it for you guys. It's quarter. It's right around an inch. Maybe even seeing some nickels, some pennies, pocket change kind of hail, that's what we like to call it. I'm not expecting anything bigger than a quarter for Friday. Now that we're done talking about the just storm chances for tomorrow, let's talk more about the snow. Here's that future radar looking over the next few days, and you can see some snow up to the Great Lakes. You can see a little bit of that rain down to the south. A lot more rain starts to pick up by about midday tomorrow on Friday, but the timing we really have to watch closely too, because you can already see western Texas, Texas Panhandle. They're seeing freezing rain and sleet at that point. Then you get to about 6 o'clock in the evening Friday. If you had any dinner plans Friday, you might have to rethink those, especially if you're to the north in Oklahoma. Snow higher up closer to the Oklahoma-Kansas border. Sleet and freezing rain just south of Oklahoma City, closer to Dallas. You're still seeing cold rain with this model. This is the HER model. And then as you get towards 9 p.m., you're seeing more heavy snow. Now that's moving into Missouri and Arkansas at that point. So lots to watch in the coming days. And you can still see a lot of this snow and this freezing rain and sleet that we're talking about all the way from, again, New Mexico up to the northeast is due to a lot of moisture return. We're seeing a ton of moisture in these areas, and that's giving us the chance to see these big winter impacts. So when can you expect the impacts in your area to begin? Well, I made you a little map here. It's not overly complicated. If you're from this pink line to this purple line, Friday, tomorrow, that's when your impacts will begin. It could be the afternoon, it could be the evening, but you will start to see those impacts from the winter storm tomorrow. If you're from the purple line to the blue line, you maybe have a little bit more time, but it could be even by Saturday morning. You're waking up and you're already seeing those impacts. So your final day for preparation might be just into the early afternoon tomorrow, because areas, slightly west of you, they're already getting those impacts, but your time is running out. And then Sunday more towards the east, that is when you're going to see more of those impacts. So looking at this future radar, this is a different model. This is the graph. This is right around 1 o'clock on Friday. Here's some showers, again, parts of Texas, but we're not seeing really a ton of sleet and snow yet. This model brings things in a little bit later. This is 7 o'clock in the evening, and this one doesn't show as much snow maybe and sleet up in Oklahoma City just yet. It keeps it a lot closer to the Red River, but where you see, again, these kind of pink colors, that's that freezing rain and that sleet. More showers and some thunderstorms possible to the south. This is right around midnight, that area that I highlighted for you for the potential for some small hail Saturday or Friday night into Saturday. That's what you're seeing right there. And at that point at midnight, hey, there comes the snow all across Oklahoma, freezing rain and sleet further to the south. Around 7:30 in the morning, so starting off Saturday, now you're seeing that heavy snowfall in parts of Arkansas, Missouri. This is going all the way out into Memphis, parts of Mississippi. You're kind of right on that freezing line, so you're seeing more of that sleet and the freezing rain compared to the snow. And it's all going to be based off of a couple degrees higher up in the atmosphere. 1 to 3 degrees will make all the difference in the world if you see just snow, if you see some sleet, or if you're seeing freezing rain. Further south you go, though, you can see areas like Houston on Saturday. I'm not expecting really for you at that point to get any freezing rain. You're just talking about some thunderstorms. This will continue to move more towards the east, so Louisiana. You're seeing more of these thunderstorms like Lake Charles, getting closer to New Orleans, midday on Saturday. But at that point, too, those winter impacts, wow, they are stretching far all the way to Atlanta now, back towards Oklahoma, Texas Panhandle, even in New Mexico for Saturday. And you continue to play this forward. This is Saturday night by 9 p.m. Now you have some of that freezing rain. That cold front is trying to reach down to areas like Houston, San Antonio, Austin. So you're not out of the woods. You have a chance to see, again, that freezing rain and that sleet. And the ice impacts are really our biggest concern for this winter storm. There's going to be a ton of snow in other locations. But wherever that ice sets up, that is going to be crippling. It could cause major power outages, lots of trees to go down, power poles to go down, make roads impassable. If you lose power, it could be for several days. That's why the icing is really the major concern for meteorologists as we watch the storm system play out. This is around 3 a.m. Sunday. Again, this freezing line will make all the difference between heavy rain and maybe some thunder, or seeing that thunder sleet, thunder snow, and then more snow to the north. You kind of get a wide view of this now as we play this forward through the rest of Sunday. This is right around 6 p.m. Heavy rain to the south, heavy snow now for like Boston, New York, Toronto, Washington. You might be seeing some of that sleet, maybe right along that freezing line for Washington, D.C., and then behind that on Monday in the morning, really cold air kind of sneaks and finally pushes this last little bit of this moisture out. So you're finishing this event with snow from Cincinnati, Washington, D.C., New York, Boston, all the way up to the northeast, wrapping up Monday into Tuesday. I know that's a very long time period that we just covered. So again, if anyone has any questions, please stop me. I'm happy to go back and answer any questions that you may have. But that's why this is a huge multi-day event that we're talking about, because we do have a lot to cover. Something else that I want to show you too are these different models. A lot of what meteorologists do is we look at different models and we come up with an idea. And I want to show you that a lot of models, at least leading up till tomorrow or Saturday morning, this is right around 6 a.m., puts things close for at least Oklahoma City between about 4 and 5 inches of snow. That's just Saturday morning at 6 a.m. Most of the snow that I just showed you comes Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, into Sunday morning. So that's already indicating to us that we're going to see quite a bit of snow from this event. So here's a look at this snowfall forecast. We made this here at HailTrace. Areas highlighted here in white. This is going to be seeing an inch of snow, extremely likely. Plan on it. You're going to see at least an inch of snow. Then you get to this dark blue color that extends back into New Mexico, the Texas Panhandle, through most of Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, all of Kentucky, parts of Tennessee as well, and that extends back to the northeast. Up to 6 inches of snow likely. Again, if you're making plans for this weekend, you might want to rearrange them. Consider just staying inside. Stay home. Have a good weekend at home. Grab a book. Get some video games out. Do a puzzle. All good things to do inside. Areas in this dark purple might be hard to see, but Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Missouri, Arkansas, lots of Kentucky, parts of Tennessee as well, leading up to like West Virginia and Virginia, 6+ inches is possible. We're saying, hey, getting to 6 inches, pretty easy at this point. Getting to maybe 10, 11, a foot, going to be a possibility in those areas that we're seeing more of that dark purple. But like I also told you, one of our bigger concerns is going to be this icing. Areas in this hot pink color, that's going to say, hey, ice is possible, freezing, rain, or sleet. You might be prepared. The road's going to get pretty treacherous if that happens. So that includes basically just south of Oklahoma City, southeastern Oklahoma. You're in this dark purple color. That's significant icing. You're talking about just 1/2 inch of ice. That is enough to cause major power outages. That is enough to cause power poles, trees, just things to go down, the grid to start to have really big issues. Texas in 2021 in February had a lot of issues, and a lot of that was due to snow and ice, so we're watching this really closely. Some of these areas, this could be a crippling ice storm, and I don't say that to scare you, I say that to, prepare you. Make sure today you're taking those preparations. You're preparing your home, you're getting the food, the water, the flashlights, the candles, the wood, all the things that you need in case you lose power. You have your medicine stocked up. If you have kids, you have all the things that you need for them. You have food for them, you have milk, you have formula, whatever that looks like, you're ready to go. Because this is a very real possibility that people could be losing power as we go throughout the rest of really Friday into early next week, Monday, Tuesday. That's still going to be a possibility. And that's also going to be because the temperatures stay really cold. I'm going to jump to the end of this event. I just showed you that most of this is wrapping up by Sunday into Monday. So you've seen all the snow now. You've seen all the ice at this point. Well, how long is it going to last? Where's it going to go? This is Monday morning at 6 a.m. These are your temperatures. This is not the wind chill. This is your temperatures. -11 in Oklahoma City. -14 in Kansas City, -9 St. Louis, -19 up in Minneapolis, 18 in Birmingham. You are not going to see that snow and ice go anywhere on Monday. You get to Monday afternoon, and you are only at 12 in Oklahoma City, 18 in Memphis, 29 in Birmingham. Everyone really who is seeing that snow and ice are going to see no changes on Monday. It is going to stick around. Tuesday in the morning, 6 a.m., you are still seeing some really cold temperatures, 20 in Memphis, Oklahoma City, 28 in Dallas. So you're getting a little bit warmer, not by much. In the afternoon, some people do start to come back above freezing. Dallas, Shreveport, Memphis, Birmingham. Hey, you're back into the 40s now. You start to make some progress. You're further to the north, Oklahoma City. Nope, you're not there yet. St. Louis. Nope, you're not there yet. You are still seeing those cold temperatures. You drop back down Wednesday morning, and then you get to Wednesday afternoon, and things are still going to take some time. So for our roofers, it might be several days before you're able to get back on the roofs. The snow might start to melt off of them depending on how much there is. The ice might start to come down, getting a little bit of sunshine on there, enough solar radiation. It might start to melt, but driving there could be a problem. And just those cold temperatures in general, you shouldn't be outside when it's that cold outside. So we're saying areas to the south in this yellow Tuesday. That's going to be the earliest day you'd likely get to get back to work. Wednesday, this is areas in orange. And if your area's in red, it could be up to 7 days. We could be talking well into next week that you could be talking about the chance to even get back to work. And that also depends on this next storm that we talked about. We said, hey, there's going to be another chance that we could be seeing some snow next week. This is just one of our models, but this is Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. You're seeing some snowfall, this is showing you. Now, am I saying lock this in right now? No. But I want to give you a heads up that we could be getting just enough through one round that we have another one knocking on our door. So this is Wednesday, midweek, some of those areas. You've maybe barely melted some of that first round of snow, now you're seeing another. And then we get towards Friday, and it's trying to bring another system to the south. New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma. More snow, more freezing rain. Louisiana, you're seeing it now at this point, and that's going into next weekend. So again, I'm not telling you for sure right now, yes, this is going to happen. I just want to make you aware that we know round one, this first winter storm, that's certain. It is coming starting tomorrow. More snow could be possible Wednesday and then also into next weekend. It's also a big, for sure risk of the cold. Here's that dangerous cold incoming. Thursday, today, it's starting to sneak in from the north. By tomorrow, these are your temperatures compared to normal. You are 20+ degrees below average across the area. Minneapolis, Chicago, St. Louis, Oklahoma City, you are feeling that cold. Saturday, extremely cold temperatures. Sunday, extremely cold temperatures. Monday, still seeing these extremely cold temperatures. You catch on the theme right now, right? Tuesday, this is going to be a long-lasting event in some areas like Oklahoma, Wichita, or just Kansas in general, St. Louis, Kansas City. You're talking about 5, 6 days that you're staying below freezing. It's going to be a long stretch before we start to warm back up. So you really have to prepare again for the dangerous cold coming this weekend. Here's a quick look one more time at these temperatures. This is 6 o'clock this evening. That cold moves in from the north, -10 in Minneapolis, -14 in Bismarck. By tomorrow morning, -22, -21, 30 degrees in Oklahoma City. This is at 9 a.m., so we're already dropping below freezing at that point, so we'll have to watch closely to see if we get that sleet or snow transition. By 6 o'clock in the evening, though, you were in the 20s in Oklahoma, 8 in St. Louis, 7 in Kansas City, but you're still above freezing to the south, which is why they're talking about seeing maybe freezing rain or just cold rain in Dallas to start on Friday. Then you get to Saturday morning, now you're below freezing in a lot of places, right around that freezing line in Dallas, really cold everywhere else. Saturday night, you still stay cold. More snow is likely across the deep south and moving to the northeast at that point. Sunday morning, lots of people are below freezing. Really cold temperatures arriving Sunday. And then the bitter cold, really that dangerous cold, moves in starting Monday. And again, I already showed you this map, but I want to show you one more time. These are not your wind chill values. These are your temperatures. Below zero, Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, 2 degrees in Memphis. This is some of the coldest air that some of these locations, again, have seen in years, not just this season, years since these temperatures have been this cold, which is why you really have to prepare for that dangerous cold now as we head into early next week. So here's a few more looks. Again, just bitter cold temperatures lasting now through at least next Wednesday. Do we have any questions really quickly? We do. There we go. Ryan said, driving from Kansas City to Denver on I-70 tomorrow. Sounds like just a little snow to worry about. If you get up early in the day, Ryan, Kansas City to Denver, I think you're going to miss out on a lot of the snow tomorrow, but I would advise getting up as early as you possibly can to make that drive, because the longer you wait into the afternoon, especially the evening, that's when things are really starting to deteriorate. So if you can leave in the morning, you should be good to go. Should be fine. If you wait too long, though, that's when things do really start to get pretty rough. All right, let's look at these forecasted wind chills. This is 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. This is not a typo. Close to -40 degrees. Does that feel like temperature to your body in Minneapolis? That's why we're talking about this dangerous cold that's moving in. It's not just the actual temperatures, but the wind chill with those winds out of the north. By Saturday at 7 a.m., -9 in Minneapolis, -14 in Chicago, -13 in Kansas City, below zero, -9 in Oklahoma City. Saturday evening, 5 in Memphis. Indianapolis, you're at -2 now. Sunday morning, lots of values sitting below zero, 20 in Atlanta, 30 in Jackson, Mississippi. Sunday night, you're still sitting really cold. Oh, there it comes Monday morning, 7 a.m. Below zero in Indianapolis, Memphis, Oklahoma City, you're sitting at -16 for that feel-like temperature. -7, -13 in Minneapolis. And that's a big reason, too. A lot of these places, school might be canceled for kids Monday, even though the winter impacts are going to be done. There's no snow, there's no freezing rain at that point. But the roads might still be treacherous enough. But also those temperatures are going to be very dangerous Monday morning, continuing Monday afternoon, even into Tuesday morning. By that point, Detroit, Indianapolis, Memphis, -9 for that feel-like temperature. Whew. It is going to be cold over the next several days. All right, before we kind of wrap up things for this forecast, I do want to go back out to meteorologist Taylor Cox one more time. Again, you saw her at the beginning of the forecast. She was kind of showing you around IRE some of our sponsors that we have for the Raising Hail Tour that's coming up here in just about a week and a half. You heard her ask that trivia question earlier. Taylor, what are things looking like for this final day of IRE? I know it's been so much fun, so busy for you guys the last several days, but how are things going now, kind of to wrap everything up?
Hey, Michaela. Yes, we at the booth today. We've just got a few more. One comes in and we start IRE day 3. But I wanted to show you real fast before we get started here. We have the Raising Hail Tour shirts out here. We have released them to, the design and everything. And we're so excited about these shirts. So we have those that are hanging out at the booth today. Everyone can stop by and check those out. So we're very excited for IRE day number 3.
That's so fun. And I don't know if people at home are able to see this right now. I can't see the shirts that you're showing, but I'm hoping people at home are able to see this feed. We can hear you just fine. So if you can kind of tell us a little bit more about what's happening at IRE. I know my producer, John, is really trying to get Taylor's video up really quickly right now, but we can at least hear you, Taylor. Taylor, what else fun things are happening at this final day of the conference?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, let me describe these shirts for you. It's a really, really cool shirt where we've got lightning and houses in the background. There's obviously a storm going on. There's hail balls falling around. And then, of course, we've got Derek Klein, our CEO of HailTrace, and he's holding a big hailstone. And we actually have that really large hailstone right here. This is the largest hailstone that has ever fallen in the US. We have a 3D replica of it. It's about 8 inches in diameter and 18 inches in circumference. Other things that are happening today are live demos at our booth. We've got our maps pulled up, so if you want to look at any storm date over the last 15 years across the entire US. You can check that out right here live at the HailTrace booth at IRE today. And of course, the cool racing simulator is also set up at our booth today as well. We've actually been playing on it this morning. So it's a fun time. If people are not at IRE, you've got to come check us out at the Raising Hail Tour. We're a fun group, and you always walk away knowing a little bit more than when you came in.
Absolutely, yeah, people definitely need to be there for the Raising Hail Tour. I have a question really fast before we end it. Has anyone beat Simon's time yet on the racing simulator? I know no one beat it
No.
at RoofCon, but I didn't know if anyone's beat it at IRE.
Yes, no one has beat Simon's time on the racing simulator, which, whenever you're racing against an actual race car driver, it's pretty hard to beat his time. However, we did see a personal record that was yesterday. One of the guys, they set a record from what we saw at RoofCon. So we've got some fast drivers here, but no one is beating Simon. I mean, how can you beat the race car driver? Here, I'll show you his car, and then I'll show you his trophies as well.
Still don't know if we're able to see a ton of that stuff, but I'm sure it's been so awesome again. And I think it's so cool that you guys are just out there and people have even that chance to try to race against him. And if you are actually able to see this at home, again, I know I can't see, but if you're not able to see it at home either, we have so many cool videos of what's been happening at IRE on our social medias as well, on our YouTube. So if you want to go see the race car, see that simulator, we have so many cool videos that you guys can go check out as well, because we've been covering a lot of fun events recently between RoofCon, IRE, and like Taylor said, Raising Hail Tour is just around the corner, and we are a fun group. You want to make sure that you're coming and joining us on that tour.
Absolutely. Well, it was so much fun to do this, Michaela. We appreciate your live forecast as well for this big winter storm. I'll toss it back to you because I know that, you got temperatures behind you. We've got a lot of weather coming in. I know that's kept you really busy in the studio.
Yeah, very busy the last few days. But again, thanks, Taylor, for coming and just kind of chatting with us and showing us what's happening at IRE. I think it's so cool to see that maybe where things are not as cold right now, that things are really fun happening out there. So one last look again at these forecast wind chills, just to show you that it's going to be very cold as we go into next week. Thank you guys again for joining us today. If you want to see more of that fun content like Taylor was sharing from IRE, if you want to see Simon Jack's fast racing car, if you want to see the largest hailstone recorded that we have that 3D print of, or you just want to see all the fun activities happening at IRE, make sure that you give us a follow. If you also want to stay up to date on all the winter weather coverage, you want to make sure that you're following us too. So you can give us a follow on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or TikTok. And now is the perfect time to make sure that you have a HailTrace subscription. Again, we're talking about a lot of winter weather right now, which would also be great to have that subscription for, but spring is just around the corner. You want to be ahead of the game, ahead of those storms, so when storms are here and they're impacting people, you can immediately pull up those weather maps and you know what's happening. So if you want a subscription, give us a call at 855-334-4245, or you can email us at info@hailtrace.com, or you can visit our website as well at hailtrace.com. Thank you guys again so much for being here today. We'll see you guys back here the same time, same place for your forecast.